Really nervous right before I hit the go live button. It does not matter that I've been going live for, I can even say the word years now. Doesn't make a difference. I get nervous every single time. So it takes me that couple minutes of as soon as the show is ready, I'm like, okay, just click go live. I can do this. But I'm here, and so are you. So thank you very much for tuning in to What in the Ads is Going On. My name is Amanda Robinson. I am the Digital Gal, and today we're going to be digging into some of the more, I don't want to say controversial topics, but we're going to be talking about the frustrations that are popping up with Facebook's sprawling system and how Facebook is constantly evolving, adding on new systems, sunsetting old systems, and making a whole bunch of changes in the back end of the system. So what that means is for us as advertisers is that we're constantly having to stay up to date, constantly having to stay current, and constantly having to have giant, woe is us parties and big, social hugs over the frustrations that we go through having to stumble through all these different changes. I can see people are popping on live right now. Make sure you drop some comments in, say hi. I would love to know that you're here. I am multi-streaming, of course, as always, multi-streaming on multiple platforms thanks to Restream. Restream is what I'm using. I do 2 live shows. One of them is here via eCam, which is what you're seeing here with this lovely background. And the second one is in the Restream studio. So you get to see 2 different types of shows, 2 different looks, and but regardless of which studio I'm using, all of this is coming out is multi-streaming across multiple platforms thanks to Restream, and they are the sponsor of the show. So thank you to Restream, and I'll be dropping some links for you to check it out soon. So today we're going to be talking about frustrations, things that frustrate us as business owners in Facebook land. And what I really want you to do is through the whole duration of this broadcast, I want to hear from you. So I've got my own little laundry list of, I don't want to say complaints, but things and quirks and issues that I've been coming across and seeing when I'm inside client accounts. And I would love to hear from you in the comments, any issues or quirks that you've noticed while you've been navigating Facebook. Yes, this is going to be a little bit of a kumbaya session and us giving each other a little bit of moral support to let you know it's not you, it's Facebook. Let's face it. All right, so let's kick this off with a quick intro. I can see tons of people jumping on. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Let's start this off, shall we? Okay, and you know me, I always like to give things away, so I need to give a giant shout out to the contest winner of the last, I love the green screen with the Facebook portal, the last Facebook portal. I want to give a giant shout out to Daryl Nelson. He was announced in the email blast that went out today. So Daryl Nelson has won this green screen portal. He's won the Facebook portal. That's going to be heading out soon. And of course, this week I have a new prize for you. So if you want to know when these shows are going live, and if you want to get a chance at winning this lovely little piece of hardware right here, then you can head on over to thedigitalgal.com/contest. What that looks like is this right here, where you can have a chance to win that lovely Kate Spade bag, but it's going to sign you up for my email newsletter. And what happens with the email newsletter, you will also get notified when these shows are going live and what the topics are. So you definitely want to keep current and stay current on that. Okay. All right, let's dig in. So one of the frustrations we're going to go over is talking about Facebook Business Manager and Facebook Business Suite, Facebook Classic Pages, which I feel like they just rolled out with this new look of these pages, and the Facebook New Pages experience, and some of the issues that are happening among all of them. I'm also going to chuck a little bit of Creator Studio in there, and these are all just different little nooks and crannies of Facebook, and as well as the Business Manager app or the the Pages app that is now turned into the Business Suite app, and how all of us are kind of at varying different levels of access, and depending on what country you're in, depending on where you are located, depending on what settings your ad account has, we all have different varying levels of access, and the menu screens that I might see are very different than the menu screens you might see. And what I'm noticing is as I'm jumping into different client accounts, different issues are popping up all over the map where different functions aren't working the same. I'm noticing that insights that we used to have access to, we don't necessarily. And let's face it, we don't need to have a PhD to run Facebook ads, but they sure do make it hard, don't they? So one of the things that's happening is Facebook has been rolling out Facebook Business Suite, and it's kind of like this little mix between Business Manager as we know it, Ads Manager, a blended inbox, and unfortunately I actually don't even have Business Suite. So I've been dragging my feet on doing a training inside the Swift Kick in the Ads membership for members because I don't even have access to it. But half the accounts I'm logging into with clients, when they're screen sharing, they have it and it's presenting some cute little quirks. So let's jump over. I'm just going to walk us through some articles today. Casual conversation. Let me first show you what it looks like if I jump back into my little split screen here. Let me show you what it looks like when we're in Business Manager. So if I go to business.facebook.com, let's pull this right over here. So when I load business.facebook.com, I have access to a whole bunch of different Business Manager accounts. And then I can click into my Digital Gal account. If I were to click onto there, it would bring me into this right here. Now this has had an evolution over time. Now the difference between Business Manager versus Business Suite, right now I'm just looking at the Digital Gal Facebook. That's it. And I have this little mini dashboard. I can customize some of this information in here, but not a lot. If you have Business Suite, essentially up in the top left-hand side, it's going to say, instead of this nice little Facebook logo, it's going to say Business Suite. And then you're going to notice that you have a blend between your Facebook and your Instagram. You'll see both notifications or both icons in there. And you'll have a dashboard in there of other information, including recent interactions, activity on your page, different ads notifications. And your menu screen over here might look a little bit different. But there's a see more that you would have down here. If you were to dig into that see more, you would basically see the same menu options that we have in here. So it's almost like Business Suite is this lovely layer that's just been tacked on right over top. And it doesn't necessarily serve much of a function. Well, not yet. Not yet. Supposedly it's going to. So what I want to do is walk through some of these things that Business Suite is supposed to do that we don't currently have set up right now. But I also wanted to show you if you have Business Suite, it's going to look somewhat like this when you go to business.facebook.com. You're still going to be able to toggle in and out of different business accounts through here, Business Manager accounts, through the left-hand side here. And if you need to access your business settings, which is like the holy grail of where we need to go to make any changes inside of our accounts for giving people access, revoking access, all those fun things, it's going to happen inside business settings. You would click on your See More, and then you would have that business settings available. So the difference is, let's jump into some articles here about Facebook Business Suites. We're going to walk through some of this together because we can. All right. So it's saying that it's going to be giving you an at-a-glance look from your business. The reason I'm going over this in somewhat detail, this is good to know. That was super helpful. I was wondering what that was all about. Yeah, it's a blend of systems. So we have, actually, let me throw up this tab. Nope. This tab first, just for talking points here. So we kind of have a blend of systems going on where way back in the day, Facebook Business Manager, I can't even remember how long ago Business Manager launched, but it feels like it's got to be like 8 or 9 years ago. Might be a little extreme. When it first rolled out, people got really frustrated. Their pages were getting, they'd get transitioned into a business manager. It looked nothing like all of our business managers do today at all. And their page would get kind of like soaked up into that business manager and locked up in it. And they couldn't operate their page unless they were in business manager. Very frustrating. It wasn't very clear. A bunch of page managers freaked out, wanted to revoke their pages out of it, and then put it on a shelf and didn't touch business manager again with a 10-foot pole for years. And then in that time, Facebook made a lot of changes and evolved Business Manager into the lovely area that we know it today. So if I click on my business settings, we're going to go into business settings. And you know what? For the sake of this, I'm going to pop into Small Dog's account and show you his business settings. Just because there's a lot of data in mine, and I think Small Dog's business is much cleaner to look at. So if I click on business settings, this is going to be that familiar area that we know where we can add people, we can add partners, we can add pages, add accounts. For those of you who need to verify your domains, you're going to find that down in here under brand safety, domains. There's all sorts of things, payment methods, all sorts of things that we can manage through here. By the way, this 9-Business Tools menu is literally going to be your best friend. I don't care if you have Business Suite. I don't care if you're still in Business Manager. I don't care what part of Facebook you're in, if you're an Ads Manager. Wherever you've gotten lost in the back end of Facebook, this little hidden menu is not very apparent, is not very clear. It's your Business Tools menu. You can find everything in here. Literally everything. Everything you need to access from a business standpoint is going to be in that 9-Business Tools menu. You can see it all in there. So if you ever get lost, that's where you can come. You can always navigate to Ads Manager, your business settings, your audiences, Events Manager, all these lovely things. If you have no idea what any of these are, then you definitely need to take the 4-week Facebook Ads Bootcamp that I run. Next one's going to be running in April that I'm going to be doing. We've got Evie in the house. Evie, it's good to see you. My love and my heart goes out to your pup Bailey. I know he had to go to the vet today, so hopefully he can get a speedy recovery, because we know our pups. We need our pups. I've got small dog sleeping on the floor over here. So all of this little back end walkthrough to show you that even if you have Business Suite, you still have this part of Business Manager. So if you go, the difference is if I go back to let me back it up one step here. The main difference right now is that if you don't have Business Suite, which I do not, then this is kind of my business default when I go into a Business Manager account, and I can toggle who I'm operating as in the left-hand side here. Whereas if you have Business Suite, you can still do the same thing. You can still toggle in and out of business accounts in here. It's just going to say Business Suite at the top. You're going to have a whole bunch of different menu options. And the intention, I think, was to make it one central hub for business activities so that it's not as confusing for small business owners, or any business for that matter, when you're trying to manage your business assets across multiple different platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So I'm going to log into Facebook, see what's going on over there, log into Instagram, seeing what's going on over there, log into separate inboxes. Well, now Business Suite is supposed to consolidate a lot of that and make it a more cohesive experience for business owners to be able to manage everything in one spot, to be able to create posts and schedule posts from one spot for both Facebook and Instagram, and to be able to create ads right from there without the complicated Ads Manager system, which we're going to get into that. You still need Ads Manager. You still need to be creating ads using Ads Manager. And Business Suite has just tacked on this lovely little thing that we now call Ads Center. So I go over to my page, and I've got this zoomed right in, so it's all blown right up. We have this lovely thing here called Ads Center. So if I click on Ads Center, this only involves anything, any boosted posts. So if I've created ads using Ads Manager, they're not appearing in here. It's only boosted posts that I'm seeing in here. And that Ads Center is now accessible from Business Suite. So it looks like Facebook is really almost simplifying things, like really trying to simplify, but in the act of simplifying, they've just created yet another space that doesn't look like any of the other spaces, that has issues with troubleshooting and different quirks. Some of those quirks, for example, in Business Suite, when you go to schedule a post using Business Suite, you can't unschedule it, or you can't edit that post. You'd have to delete that post and then go back in and recreate it. So those are some of the quirks that people are running into. There's anytime Facebook rolls out any new features, there are going to be glitches as it's rolling out. And I'm noticing just a whole bunch of these tiny little weird glitches as that's happening. So just notice that there is a difference between Ads Manager, where you go to create your ads in the more robust full suite of tools, versus creating ads using Ads Center. It's kind of the same as boosting a post, which they're now integrating it in with Business Suite, and it's accessible there. So from a business perspective, there's all these... I kind of explain, I use this analogy all the time. It's like driving on a highway to get to your end destination. You can take the most direct route and drive on the highway, but sometimes you're going to run into traffic jams. Or you can take slower routes. You can take alternate ways of getting to your end destination. Might be the scenic route, might take you lots more clicks to get there, but there's multiple ways of navigating into the same destination. Same thing applies when we're navigating into Ads Manager. You can get there from multiple different points throughout Facebook. And then even if you have Business Suite and you need to make any changes, we're still navigating into the business settings, which is in the back end of Business Manager. So we have all these different areas, and Facebook is just cross-pointing, almost like air traffic control. Like, oh, you want to go over there? Okay, you can click over here, but we're going to confuse you. You want to click over here? Okay, we're going to call it this other thing. And we're just going to start naming all of these different pieces and putting them in different places that you're not used to. But ultimately, they are the same thing. So let me get into what that means. Let me go back into my screen share here. Yeah. All right. So let's go about changes between Facebook Business Suite and Business Manager. So it's saying desktop and mobile experience, manage your business presence wherever you go with Business Suite Desktop or Business Suite Mobile app. The mobile app is essentially used to be the old Pages app, which was quite glitchy for a long time. And they've just reskinned it, and it's now called Business Suite. So you can still do the same things, manage your business through that app, and it just helps you streamline. It helps make sure that you know that you are operating as the business, not as yourself. So if you're in the Business Suite app, much as it was used to be called the Pages app, you knew that if you're in the Pages app and you're operating in there, you know that you're not accidentally going to post as yourself or say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. So that's all they've done. Basically, just rename the app. There are some new charts and information in there, but it's basically the same thing. And when they're saying Business Suite Desktop, what they really mean is just this. It's sort of your homepage for your business manager. Only instead of calling it Business Manager, they're calling it Business Suite. But this is essentially what the desktop interface is for Business Suite. New home view, that's what I was just talking about there, where you can see your Facebook page and Instagram account in the home view. You'll also see an overview of recent ads and insights from your posts here. Activity view, so this one is actually somewhat useful. And in order to get this part here, the activity view, this is, for example, something that I would use Agora Pulse for, where I like to go into Agora Pulse and see my inbox, which is not, from the Agora Pulse perspective, is basically an activity feed. It's not necessarily just an inbox of direct messages. It's an inbox of activity, people commenting, people taking action. This is going to give you a whole list of any activity that's happened on your page, of anybody liking or commenting on your posts or on your ads. So it is more of a consolidated place to see that activity instead of having to hunt around for all of the different having to go hunting around for those notifications as they pop through mixed in with your personal feed. This gives you one activity view that you can go and see who's liking and commenting on your business assets. Unified inbox. This kind of already exists. If you go into your page's inbox through Facebook, so if you go through your Facebook page and you go to your messages, it already has a blended inbox for Facebook, Instagram, and all of these different features in here. There are lots of different features that they're saying Business Suite has. They've already kind of existed. And how that works is that Facebook builds all of these features first, rolls them out in beta, tests them in different people's accounts over a period of time, and when everything is working properly and there's a good business case for it, then they roll out the features more globally. And so all these different features between different messaging features, cross-platform messaging, lots of different features that have been popping up over the last, they've been rolling out so many features in the last 2 years, I would say. All of these, once they're tried, tested, and true, they roll them out. Now they're trying to consolidate this all into one business suite, one area where business owners can operate. But a lot of these things already exist, and they're already in the back end of Facebook, and we've already been using them. They're just basically putting a cute label on top of it and saying, now you can find it all in a pretty little bow wrapped up in Business Suite. But not all of us have Business Suite, and it's getting a little confusing. Ability to post, yep, you can publish posts right from Business Suite to both Facebook and Instagram. That's kind of a big deal. We have Creator Studio for that. And speaking of all the Facebook frustrations, I want to show you what happens when I try to access Creator Studio. Let me go Creator Studio. It defaults to all pages, but if I want to unselect all pages, it just defaults blank. These are the types of glitches that I'm talking about. And I've tried this in this browser, I've tried it in multiple different browsers, and I keep running into the same type of glitch. Creator Studio, let me stop my share and I'll see if I can actually get it to pull up proper, and then I can show you what Creator Studio is. And so what I'm doing is just doctoring the URL a little bit to get in there, and then picking one really quickly. There we go. All right, I didn't want to show you the back end of how I was doctoring that before getting back into the screen share again. This is what Creator Studio looks like. And you notice how I have a Facebook little widget at the top, and I also have an Instagram widget at the top. So I can toggle back and forth between Facebook and Instagram. I can create posts from here if I want to. So I can go create post. And then we wait. And we wait. And there I can create a post. And this post is just going on to Facebook. I could also toggle out of that and instead go into that Instagram widget, and I could create a post for Instagram. So these features do exist. They're existing in Creator Studio. Business Suite is trying to bring some of these features under one umbrella so that we're not hunting around to try and create ads over in Ads Manager, heading over to Creator Studio to schedule posts, heading over to Instagram to see how our content's performing, heading back over to Facebook to check our inbox and check our feed. So there's a whole bunch of different pieces that are getting... Facebook is doing a giant shuffle and a giant reorg of all these different features that we get to play with. But in the meantime, while they're shuffling and reorganizing things, glitches like the one I just showed you are happening, and they can get a little bit frustrating, and people sometimes think it's them, not Facebook. The question is, can you schedule that post or just create it? You can schedule. This is a test post. So down on the bottom right, I know my overlay is kind of covering it up. Hopefully you can't really see that at the top there. I can schedule it, backdate it, or save it as a draft. So I can schedule that post right from here and use Creator Studio to schedule that. So if you don't have Business Suite and you don't have the ability to create and schedule posts right from within Business Suite, you can do that over here in Creator Studio. Creator Studio has such a great wealth of reporting. Discard that draft. So if we want to go into our insights, I can look at my overview for my page, which again, this leads me to say that when we're talking about the changes that Facebook is rolling out, with all these different changes, they're rolling out the new Pages experience. I don't have the new Pages experience yet. If I go back into my home here, the new Pages experience is going to be removing Facebook likes. Let me see if the new Pages experience actually doesn't have insights the same way that we do with the classic page. And it removes page likes and instead replaces them with follows. And I can still see I have my page likes and I have page follows. But once you enter into the new Pages experience, it actually strips out a lot of the functionality that we have here and dilutes it down. Although they tell us that we're gaining more functions. So let's finish up on Business Manager and Business Suite and Business Manager changes, and then I'm going to walk you through what the new Pages experience is all about. And we did touch on this on a previous episode of what in the ads is going on, but it was more like, oh yay, all these features are coming, and now that they're rolling out, I'm realizing, wait a second, we already had these features, and wait a second, you're taking things away from us, and it's getting confusing. So new ads creation. So with the Ad Center, you can create new ads, boost posts, and promote your page, and see metrics for your ads directly in Business Suite. You'll still have access to Ads Manager to see more details on your campaigns. Translation, that's the exact same as boosting a post. You can boost a post, and then from your Ad Center, we already have right down here, Ad Center. If I boost a post, it's going to show up in my Ads Center, and it's also going to show up in Ads Manager. But if I go and create posts or create ads in Ads Manager, they're not showing up they don't show up in the Ad Center, and they never have. So it's these two systems that don't really talk to each other. One talks to the other, but the other one doesn't translate. It's quirky. Updated Insights view. See how your organic and paid posts are performing with data on trends, activity, and the content you share. You'll also find more information about your audience here. So Insights, one of the issues with the new Pages experience is that I've already seen from some people in the wild, the new Pages experience is stripping out the robust data that we have in our page insights for some people. But it looks like in the new Business Suite, the insights are going to be slid into a new area here. But really, it is good that seeing organic and paid posts with performance data It's good. We can already see that. Let me just pop over to my insights. And yes, I am showing you behind the curtain of my own insights. Insights. Let's see, I might need to reduce my screen size a little bit here. Yes, we can pop that out to the last 28 days. Insights, things like post reach, post engagement, video views. You can look at top performing posts. I can see all posts, and I can already see organic versus paid, organic versus paid. So this data is blended in here in my insights. We can go through and break it down by likes, by so I can dig into my insights in a deeper way. But with the new changes between Business Suite, now I'm going to increase this here. It is going to be showing you a blend of organic and paid post information on insights inside Business Suite. We can already see that, and the new way it's being displayed isn't that much different. So really we have a whole cohort of people who are in the old Pages experience, a whole cohort of people who are in the new Pages experience, and a whole bunch of people who are in Business Suite, a whole bunch of people who are in Business Manager. And all these little things have functions that are all kind of tied together, and we can still access them in some ways. It's changing how we access them. It's changing how we interact with them in other ways. Then it's access more tools. The more tools section of Business Suite, it's essentially all more tools is. It gives you these. So you'll have more tools, and it'll fly out a secondary menu that looks almost identical to this. So even though it sounds like there's a lot of really cool features, like, ooh, all these changes. Yeah, it sounds really great. Great features. Yes, I want that. Yes, I want that. I'm like, you already have that. You already have it. Yes, it's spread across a whole bunch of other places, like Creator Studio, for example, or spread across different areas like Ads Manager, or having to go in and look at your audience insights or your page insights. So we already have a lot of these features. And then switching from Business Suite to Business Manager, I don't have the ability to do this right now, but there is apparently the ability to switch back. So if you are in Business Suite and you hate it, you might have the option to actually switch back into just the regular normal Business Manager view that we are used to. If you have Business Suite at this point, I'd say just stick with it, because that's when Facebook rolls out new features like that, that's the direction we're going no matter what. So hang tight in there, get used to it, work your way around, get familiar with all the changes, because we know that they usually roll these things out slowly and phase them in, and then they roll it out for everybody globally, and that's the end of story. And that's what we saw when Facebook rolled out this Pages. Let me go back here. When they rolled out the new look for Pages. So that leads me into classic Pages versus the new page experience. So this technically is still a classic page, because I can see all of this information that I'm used to seeing in here. I can still see my my like count and my follower count separately. This is a classic page experience, even though it has the new Facebook ads look that rolled out this year. Where we have the menu screen down here along the left-hand side. Actually, you know what, oddly enough, I was in a client page yesterday, and it had reverted back to the old Facebook page look that wasn't quite as big and bubbly as this. So this is still the classic page experience. So let's go over here and about the new Pages experience. Let me click on this one too, the classic Pages experience, and head on over here. About doesn't really give us much over here. So about the new Pages experience, it's a way for public figures, businesses, and others who want to build and connect with an audience manage their professional presence on Facebook. So what is new for Pages? A redesigned page layout that's cleaner and more intuitive. And it does look different than the page experience that I just showed you. Easy switching and navigating between public-facing page and individual profile. So this is what kind of threw me off. I had somebody in the membership, in my Swift Kick in the Ads membership, ran into some questions and needed some help troubleshooting. So we jumped on a screen share, and she was toggling between a page and her personal profile. And I'm looking at it and going, wait a second, can you do that again? And she flips back into the page. I'm like, no, that's a profile. You're not operating as a page, you're operating as a profile. She's like, nope, that's now how you switch into your page with the new page's experience. It's just like toggling between different personal profiles, only one of them is now a page. So it operates a little bit differently. It's a little more quirky. And even if you try to navigate to certain business features, it will give you an error and it'll force you to flip back into your personal profile before you can then navigate in through. So there's some quirks happening there. This is going to be giving you your own newsfeed. Your page newsfeed will be separate from your profile. So you now have your own separate page, your own separate newsfeed of content and information for you as a page. And you can follow other pages, you can follow other people, you can follow other things as your page and have a curated feed of information just related to your page. So that's handy. Actionable insights and more relevant notifications. Updated page management tools. You can give others Facebook access or task access to manage the page. So if we want to make everything a lot more confusing, that's essentially 3 different ways that we can assign access to give people access to operate on our page. So right now you can get access through your actual page and your page settings. You can also give access through Business Manager. So if you're in Business Manager and you want to assign access, let's go over to Small Dog's Business Manager, for example. Let's go into Business Settings. And under People or Partners, depending on if you're adding a person in or if you're giving another business access. So here I am. If I want to assign assets, these are examples of different access levels I can see through Business Manager. So for the page, if I added somebody in here to this Business Manager and wanted to give them access to the page, I can click on the page and these are the different options I have. Publish content, moderate messages and comments, create ads, view page performance, view earnings insights, or global manage page access. So I can switch on different sliders and give different levels of access to people depending on what they need. Well, if I head over to pages, let's go down into my settings here. Settings. And from settings, if I want to go into, I think it's page roles. And from here, if I want to assign a new page role, let's say I want to assign access to Evie because she's watching. You can see I have different access levels here. Admin, editor, moderator, advertiser, analyst, custom. So these actions don't necessarily map one-to-one with the access levels I can give in Business Manager. So there are 2 different places that I could give people access to my page. And now with the new pages experience, there's yet another layer and another set of access that you could be assigning to somebody. So I can completely understand how certain business owners are getting really confused and really turned around. And when it comes to troubleshooting and someone's running into an issue and they need support and they need help and they're running into a problem with it, this is where as an industry professional, I have to ask very specific questions and be very careful in the language that I'm using to understand, okay, what page experience are they in? What are they in Business Suite? Are they in Business Manager? Are they running into an issue with Ads Manager or their ad account, but they don't know that's what it's called and they're ending up in Ad Center and don't know how to find their ads? Where there's so many different little nooks and crannies now. Facebook has made it really complex and they're trying to claw it back and they're trying to consolidate it all the way under this beautiful one roof of Business Suite. And they're trying to make it easier. But in order to do that, they have to just do a giant musical chairs and shuffle on where all these features live, where they're housed, who can have access to these features. And while that's happening, we're kind of running 2 to 3 different systems simultaneously alongside each other that some people have, other people don't. And it can get really confusing when you're trying to learn this stuff from the ground up and help yourself. So what features will I have access to with a new page? This is, again, a lot of these pieces right here. It's stuff we already have access to in our current page. It's just we're actually losing some features like insights. When I showed you my insights here, let's go back up into out of my page settings, back to me. And if I go back into my insights, All right, apparently I have been logged out of Facebook. And this happens, gotta love that when that happens while I'm live, because I have 2FA, two-factor authentication, turned on, meaning it's always a bit of a pain to log in, but you need to have 2FA turned on to stay safe. So let me just pop me back up on screen and see if I can log in here. And so I can continue, and hopefully I'm not kicked out of Facebook. I'm doing this in the back end. Cross your fingers, 2FA required. So for two-factor authentication, I don't use a cell phone number. I use an Authenticator app. So I don't have to have it tied to any given phone number because I tend to change my phone number often, and I don't usually use a phone anymore. 3, I'm logging in. Review recent login. Someone recently tried to log into your account from an unauthorized computer or mobile browser. Because you set up two-factor authentication, your account is temporarily locked. Please complete the following steps. You know what? I'm just going to show you this because this is real life. This is what happens, and some people run into this. So I'm going to show the split screen again. So you notice how we were navigating through Facebook, logged in just fine, and it booted me out. Then I tried to log in, and I have 2FA turned on. So I entered and I logged in with my password. Then it prompted me for my code for my Authenticator app. I gave that. Now it's saying someone recently tried to log into your account from an unrecognized computer or mobile browser. Because you set up 2FA, two-factor authentication, your account is temporarily locked. Please complete the following steps to regain access to your account. Hopefully this isn't going to... Yeah, this was me. That's all. And I bet it's messing with me because I'm mucking around with my page roles. Okay, I'm back in. We're good. I've been locked out of Facebook more than once, and my heart sinks a little bit when those things happen. Okay, so moving along here, Pages experience. A lot of these things that they're saying, what will I have access to with the new page experience? Pretty much everything we had access to before. They're just with a few less features, including page insights. We have really robust insights. That's where I was. Don't boot me out again. Don't kick me out. Don't kick me out. There we are. Let's go back into insights. And insights overview. So the depth of insights that you have on the quote-unquote classic pages, all of this information here, all of your different posts and how they're performing, it doesn't look the same in the new pages experience. You get a slimmed down, skinny version of this that is very watered down. And so to get more of this information, you need to then rely on the other tools that you have available to you, including things like your page analytics, Facebook analytics. It's a whole other cavern of Facebook that we're not going to go diving into. So there are lots of different areas of Facebook, lots of different nooks and crannies that we can get ourselves lost into, and a lot of different features that even though Facebook is packaging it up to say, hey, you can do all these really cool things inside your new page experience, it really is just, you know, doing a giant jazz hands to say, actually, you already had access to all these things before. We're just putting them under a new package and taking away some things, but trying to get you excited about it. And then we're taking those things we're taking away and we're like redispersing them into other areas that we're now putting another cute bow on top of and calling it Business Suite. But most of you still have Business Manager, so we're just going to confuse you on where to go to find and access all of these tools and all of these features. I know there are good things that are coming out of this in the end. Let me pull myself back up here. There are good things that are coming out of this, but we're all going through the growing pains of it right now. So you're witnessing Facebook make the changes to the system to try and make it easier, because I think they're hearing us that it's not been easy as a business owner to navigate any of the Facebook business tools whatsoever, to try and do your ads, to try and create your audiences, to try and respond to comments that are coming in to your page, to try and respond and find those comments that are coming in on your ads that don't show up in your feed, that you then have to go chasing down when you have 3 or 4 different variations of one kind of ad and you don't know where that negative comment was, and you're spending an hour as a business owner trying to dig through notifications in multiple different places, and to get notifications that when you click on them, it forces you over into the app, the Business Suite app, and then glitches on you. So there's so many frustrations happening right now with people that are running into these glitches, and it's just they're running up against a wall. And it's not you, it's Facebook. It's the growing pains of Facebook trying to, it's like Velcro, where the system has just like grown and sprawled over time, like a weed growing out of control. Now Facebook is coming in going, okay, let's pull this weed off the wall. We're going to rip these features apart like Velcro, and then we're going to reassemble them in a much more orderly fashion. But in order for them to do that, they first have to build the tools, test them, roll them out in beta across different accounts, then roll it out globally. Then once they're rolled out globally and everything's working fine, then they have to realign and reorganize how it's housed, where it's living, where to find it, what the menu screens look like, and then they keep rolling out new features on top of everything. So in order to get to the end, their end goal, which there is no such thing as an end goal with Facebook, but I know we're going to be seeing a lot more commerce features coming, and a lot more online shopping features coming to Facebook. So in advance of that, there's a lot of groundwork that has to go in. It's kind of like they're renoing and building a huge complex when there used to be like a tiny little cottage there. They're not tearing down the original cottage. They are bolting on all these features on top around it and then coming in and renovating the interior. And we are dealing with the growing pains of basically trying to operate our businesses inside that little cottage while Facebook is doing all this construction around us and trying to make it seem like it's going to be so much easier. So I think they know the growing pains that we're having. Plus we add on top all of the Facebook ad rejections, the ad account shutdowns, the business manager shutdowns, and all of the advertiser issues that legitimate businesses have been experiencing lately. And when I say lately, I mean from November until now, actually October, just ahead of the election until now. It's been volatile. So it has not been fun as a business owner operating Facebook ads. Unfortunately for a lot of us, Facebook ads are still the lowest cost, most effective option for the level of business that we're operating in, where LinkedIn ads, for example, are way too expensive, and Twitter ads may not be as effective for you. Pinterest ads might not be where you need to be. Facebook ads are still, fortunately or unfortunately, tried, tested, and true, and extremely effective. So a lot of us just have to weather through it. We have to tough it out, and we have to put up with Facebook's renovations and the fact that while they're renovating, they turn the power off, and all of a sudden things don't work. Actually, I've got some screenshots for you here. Let me pull up some screenshots of other issues that I'm running into, like this, for example. This is an example. I think this is what's happening while there's renovations going on, where when someone's clicking through from an ad, they're clicking on an ad to go to an external website, and Facebook is saying, oh, leaving Facebook, are you? Are you sure you want to do that? You want to go? You want to leave? We want you to stay. Are you sure you want to click on that? Do you trust that? And yes, I do. I want to go and click on that. But we're so programmed that if you click on something and you get one of these kind of pop-ups that's warning you, are you sure you want to go to that website? Most of our instinct is to go, oh, no, actually, we don't want to go off to that separate site. We want to stay on Facebook where it's safe, and we abandon that click. But the person clicked on the ad, so therefore the click counts as a link click on the ad. So Facebook can say, hey, we got you 100 link clicks. Meanwhile, 75 of them didn't actually continue to follow through on that link. So this is one of those quirks where I'm seeing some discrepancies pop up. This has just happened this month. It may be resolved or it may be an ongoing issue. That's one example. Another example, what else have I got in here? I've got a few screenshots here I can pull up and show you. Yeah, this was a fun one. Boom. That was my Monday. Nothing would load for me. So here I am trying to get ads up and running for clients. I'm on a video screen share with a client and trying to go over ad results together. We only have our 1 hour together. We have to go through the results and make some strategic business decisions in that meantime. Whereas, like, this is what I'm running up against. And Facebook is just having a bad day and it can't load. So that was one of the other quirks that I ran into. Let me close this one. Let me see, what else have I got for you in my little tackle box of things. Oh, and speaking of more changes, normally, I ran into this one today. Normally, if I want to pull how much did I spend for a client in the month of February, or how much did I spend and how many campaigns, what type of campaigns did I run? Rather than digging into very robust reporting, I'll go to my account overview. And my account overview has some really valuable data in it. Not many people would go there. It used to be an account overview tab. They've now bumped that out and it's hidden in a different menu. And now when I went in, they've revamped it. So now we have a new way to start your day in Ads Manager. Yay! Another change on top of all of the changes and all the places that we could be stuck in Facebook land. So we've got another one. So now what they're doing to help make your ads easier to manage, we've simplified your account overview to become a one-stop shop for blah, 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 blah. Translation, when I'm seeing Facebook say, to help make it easier and simplify, I'm like, oh no, here we go. Here we go. Now we're going to strip away a whole bunch of features, rejig a whole bunch of things. We're renovating, and you're turning the power off while you're fixing something, and here we go. So we get this, I got this lovely notification, and then on the other end of that notification, now instead of being able to see, yeah, I'll pull this example up, whoop, make it a little smaller, no, I'll make it a little bigger, peek out from underneath. So now this is what my overview, my account overview looks like. And like, I don't care necessarily about what's running this week. I want to drill in deeper to this information and find out, what did I spend this month? What did I spend last month? What did I spend last year? Without having to dig through it in Ads Manager in a really complex, really awful to navigate charts and information. There needs to be a much more simplified way of doing it. Facebook says they're simplifying this for me, but really they're just giving me some pretty charts and graphs that is not what I was looking for. And that's it. That's all I have. I can't navigate to anything else. So I now have to go and use Facebook's other reporting tools to get the information that used to be already at my fingertips and already so easy to use. All right, what else? I've got a couple more screenshots here for you. If you do have any questions, or if you have any issues that you've noticed lately of Facebook during these renovations, this is not necessarily, this isn't an issue, but this is a sample of how you can see changes are rolling out, where it's saying now you manage one business at a time. So now in the left-hand menu, notice that 9.business menu that I've always talked lovingly about, because that's where you can find everything in there. Now if I were to click on my profile here, I can toggle and navigate between different businesses. That's not unfamiliar. If you're in Business Suite, that's how you change your business account anyway, from one account to the next. But that's an example of notifications that you'll see popping up. And here's another one. Yeah, and we've got Robert Miller in the house, who has quickly become, I think I'm his top fan. He's been showing up on all of my live streams lately, and I really appreciate it. And I think Robert is fabulous, and I'm really glad that you're here. So I'm Robert's fan. And if I pull this up, introducing a separate newsfeed for, and blah, 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 your page. Interact as your page within a dedicated space, just like on your personal profile. And then the next notification that came out for the new pages experience was this one right here. Follow. Choose who you keep up with. See more useful content by following pages and public figures that are relevant to you. So you as your page can follow different people and different public figures and profiles. Then we have, this is interesting. Allow me to translate for you. So it says, find inspiration from other pages and public figures. We'll show you posts and updates from related pages and public figures to inspire you with ideas for your own page. In other words, they're going to try and show you a whole bunch of things that you weren't looking for to try to get you to like and follow or explore or look at other business content. They say it's through inspiration, but I think it's to try and get more businesses following other businesses and getting businesses to engage in a different way. So there are lots of these little quirky little changes happening in the back end. They're all being packaged up and positioned. And I showed you that one, and I showed you that one. So I think I've shown you all my little screenshots that I had lined up here. So Facebook is packaging this stuff up in nice language, and they're showing it to you in a way that makes it sound like they're simplifying everything and making it easier. Meanwhile, like that example or the analogy I just gave you, where it's like we were all operating our ads and everything inside this like cute little cottage that made sense. And then Facebook is building this massive renovation on top of it, this huge, massive complex with like multiple different departments, and tacking it on top, not tearing down the existing one yet, tacking it on top, and then trying to wire everything together, and then coming back to renovate the cottage out. It's like they're trying to do a giant upgrade in so many systems in so many ways, but not all of these things talk to each other, and we need to upgrade the systems that we're already using. So Business Manager, Ads Manager, Business Suite, classic Pages, which most of us have. Some of you are getting the new Pages experience. Ooh, which reminds me, by the way, Mackenzie Lieberman sent out a really, really great PSA email yesterday warning people that if you're using messenger marketing chatbots and you upgrade to the new Pages experience, that you will not be able to use all the features of your chatbot with the new Page experience. The API isn't open to all the same features that messenger marketing chatbots like ManyChat need to communicate with Facebook. So that's not good. So if you're running messenger marketing chatbots, you upgrade to the new Pages experience, you're going to need to downgrade back to the old classic Page experience before your chatbot will work again, and that poses some other issues, because once you migrate to the new Pages experience, your likes go away, and you end up with followers, just your follower count, and any new followers that you got or any new activity that happened while you were upgraded to your new Pages experience gets lost if you then revert back to your old experience. So there is risk of losing information and data there. And it's you know what, Robert? This comment here hits me to the core right now. All right, so he's making a joke like ICBC. So those of you who may not know, I'm from Ontario, and I'm currently living in British Columbia. I only officially moved out here. I was technically a digital nomad. This was supposed to be temporary, me being out in British Columbia, and then pandemic hit. I was going to still continue on and do more road tripping, and wasn't sure that I was going to permanently land here. And then I did make the decision to permanently land in British Columbia. Well, you think being from Canada, you can just move to a different part of Canada. No. ICBC is, what is that? What does ICBC even stand for? Insurance Commission of British Columbia? Help me out with that one, Robert. I don't know. But moving my car over here, I basically had to sell my car to myself and repurchase it here in British Columbia, which was really weird. And then to get hooked up with all the insurance that I needed. Yeah. Ooh, Ontario. Yeah. I miss Ontario, but I love it up here. So I think Ontario will be that lovely place I get to visit while I live out here. But with ICBC, it's basically Insurance Corp of BC. Thank you, Robert. Thanks for having my back here. Insurance Corp of BC. So moving from Ontario, where we have private insurance, so you get to kind of shop around for your insurance company and shop around, not really for deals, but you can shop around. and then moving here and changing my car over to BC, like I had to purchase my car from myself to move it into the province. Plus I had to get inspections and everything to certify it before I could even move it over here and get plates on it. And then insurance here, it's all through that one insurance board. So it's weird to me, like navigating this system, and there's an order of operations that I had to do it in, and I didn't know, and I kept doing it wrong. So I would get my driver's license, and then like, we need your driving record. I'm like, okay. So I had to go and apply for that. That took 3 weeks to get here. Got my driving record, showed up. Now I've got all of that attached. So now I can go get my insurance, because my driving record will impact my insurance here. Go to get my insurance, but in order to do that, have to get my plates for my car. To get plates for the car, it was just like, are you kidding me? And to your comment there, when you're saying like ICBC, bringing it to welcome to the Sunshine Tax. So my girlfriend who lives in California says, but bringing it all in to make sense with just like what Facebook is doing with all of these different places and compartments and features that are all rolled out. They're just like scattered out in a whole bunch of different areas, and you need to know where to go hunting for them, for finding your insights, going and creating ads manager versus boosted posts versus ad center versus new Pages experience, classic Pages experience, all these different little nooks and crannies. And Facebook isn't giving us a roadmap. There's no clear roadmap to say, oh, you're in the old business manager, okay, you're gonna find everything over here. And oh, you're in the new experience, okay, you're gonna find everything over here. It used to be over here. So it really is like a hide and seek game of like, oh, everything just changed in my Facebook today, and all right, where did they move that tool and feature? And I'm noticing with some of the client calls that I've been doing, I'm noticing certain features are kind of getting scaled back, and we're losing a little bit of data. And that's a little concerning to me, but we've had a good free ride on data so far with Facebook. And then we've got Angie. Hi, Angie. I feel like the new page add-ons are mimicking Instagram. It's just in Facebook. Yeah, it does have that feel to it. And it does, I feel like with all of the different changes that Facebook is rolling out, I feel like they're trying to simplify it, but I feel like they're treating us like a 2-year-old. Like we don't know any better. Or they're dumbing it right down and trying to simplify it so much that it just doesn't make sense. Or they're pulling too many features away or tucking too many features in behind too many different menu screens. It's like they're trying to simplify it, but they're overcomplicating it. And it doesn't feel good. We're all in this together. We're all on this little Facebook roller coaster together while they're renovating everything and moving things around. And this is the highest accelerated rate of change that I have seen unfold within Facebook on the Facebook ads side of things. And then you couple that with all the ad rejections that we've gone through. And I'm not going to lie, there have been times where I look myself in the mirror and go, huh, so you chose doing Facebook ads for a living, huh? Want to reconsider that? There have been some tough months, and it's not tough as in business has been excellent for the Digital Gal, and I'm really grateful for that. But it's been tough in some ways, as in you can never get comfortable in this job because it changes too often. And that's one of the reasons why I made the boot camp, the Facebook ads boot camp that I teach. The reason that I made it kind of lifetime membership. So once you're in it. Even if you quit your membership for SwiftKick and the ads, you're still in the boot camp for life. You can stay there. It's all good. And I rerun the boot camp every other month or so, exact same content, but I just go over all the new changes. I rerun the same content, but I'm showing you in its current iteration in whatever menu screens are now current, whatever glitches I'm running into live, you're seeing it unfold live. So you can keep current and up to date as things evolve. So when you first took the boot camp, say you took the boot camp a year ago, and now you're finally getting to the point where your business is in a good spot and you're ready to start running ads right now. And then you log in, all of a sudden, all my trainings that you took a year ago say not a whisper or a peep about Business Suite. That's why I rerun it, and that's why I let people retake it as often as they want, because it's not until you're actually hands-on and doing that you finally kind of click it all together and go, oh, now I know how to navigate between audiences and ads manager. Now I know how to navigate into my page insights. Now I know how to navigate through through campaigns, ad sets, and ads. And now I can duplicate campaigns. I can turn campaigns on and off. All of these things change so frequently. So that's the reason that I've left the boot camp as once you're in it, you're in it for life, because the bottom line is if you're in the boot camp, you're there for a reason. You're there because you actually want to learn how to do Facebook ads, and to try and run you through a pre-recorded course just simply doesn't make sense because it just changes too often. So if I can get you in the boot camp, get you learning ads, and then when it's most relevant for you, you can retake it as many times as you want. Lots of people have taken it multiple rounds, and you learn something new every time. Even if you already know how to do ads, people pick up on little things all the time. Angie's saying, just ripping the bandage off and letting us figure things out all at once would be easier. Yeah, yes and no. I mean, if Facebook built a new palace with a whole bunch of new ads tools and ads and features, and then just waited and gave us like the great reveal of like, ta-da! Doors open! Advertisers, come in, have an appetizer. It would probably be overwhelming, and people would probably stop spending on their ads because it wouldn't make sense. So it is tough that they have to kind of trickle it out to us in this way, but I understand it. I usually say it's like Facebook is building Frankenstein. So it's that original system, and they just keep bolting on and tacking on new features on top, and those features don't always talk to each other, and then they have to run around in behind and fix it and try and connect the wiring and connect all the dots behind the scenes. So us as the business owners, we're the ones that unfortunately have to suffer through these frustrations, and I just want to be the person, we're going to wrap it up here, I just want to be that person to tell you that it's Facebook, it's not you. It's Facebook. You are very smart. You are very capable. You are extremely intelligent. And you've been, all of us now, there's no excuse of, I don't really know computers. I'm not comfortable with computers. We live in this world now. All of us are comfortable with how things should navigate from a user experience perspective. Facebook is failing miserably at that, and it's Facebook, not you. Half the time, the errors and glitches you're running into in Ads Manager are literally just that. They're errors and glitches. It's not things that you're doing wrong. So don't let that deter you from running Facebook ads. Don't let that be a barrier to entry to you learning how to do your own ads for yourself. The amount of power you have, if you can run your own ads and manage your own business, you have infinite power to be able to scale yourself and understand how to act and react quite nimbly in today's constantly changing climate. So there's a huge value to you learning how to do your own ads. Don't let all this craziness be a barrier. This whole conversation, like I said at the very beginning of this broadcast, this is kind of more of a kumbaya to let you know it's okay. It's just talking it out and showing you these things are out there, they're happening. It doesn't make a ton of sense right now. As soon as I actually get Business Suite personally, which I don't have yet, I'm sure I'm going to be able to do another broadcast that's going to be a lot more clean and neat than this one, a lot more concise, and probably be a lot more happy to show you all of the features all housed neatly in one area. But that's the current state of it. So I also want to just jump in again and give a huge shout out to Restream, who is the sponsor of this broadcast, as well as tomorrow's show. Tomorrow's show is going to be the video marketing show. In that episode of that show, I'm going to be showing you how to make these overlays. All these different overlays that I'm pulling up and bringing in, I'm going to be walking you through how you can create these overlays for yourself. And I want to give a giant shout out to Robert Miller, because Robert, he is the one that was asking me questions on how do you do that, and then saying, no, it's too complex for me as a business owner. I'm not into that. I'm not into doing that. And it's not something that you're looking to do. But I'm on this end going, okay, it looks fancy, but it's actually so easy. And I want to show you exactly how, show you the tools that I'm using to create overlays and things like this, and then how to bring them into your broadcasts. So I'm going to be doing that in Restream's studio tomorrow. Restream studio right now, I'm in Ecamm. That's how I'm pulling up a whole bunch of different overlays in Ecamm. And tomorrow I'm going to be broadcasting out of the Restream broadcast studio, which is so freaking cool. There are so many really neat features. Makes it look like a really complex, unique broadcast, but really it's the Restream studio that makes it so super simple. They their whole point in a program like this, in Ecamm, it can be a little bit overwhelming if you're a first-time live streamer, but a program like Restream simplifies it right down for you. And not in Facebook's terms of simplify. Remember how we've been complaining throughout this whole broadcast of how Facebook simplifies, and what they're really doing is just renovating and taking features away? No. In Restream, they really do simplify live streaming, make it beautiful, and make it easy. And tomorrow, I'm going to be showing you that at 1 p.m. Pacific, so make sure you tune in. And again, make sure you take advantage of the opportunity of going over to thedigitalgal.com/contest. Drop your email in there if you want to get the email notifications, a heads up on when these shows are going live and what the topics of the show are, and you get a chance to win different prizes each week in this round of prizing. Every 2 weeks I change up the prize. So for this round, it's going to be this lovely Kate Spade, the original still in package, not this exact one. I'm kind of liking this one. So you can have a shot at winning that. If you're a guy and you're not interested in purses, I know you have a girl in your life who is. So with that, thank you everybody for joining me. I know I rambled on a little bit long on this one. I'm going to throw the outro on here. If you do have any questions or have anything you want to contribute on any of these Facebook ads frustrations, make sure you drop those in the comments, even if you're watching this on the replay. And thank you for tuning in. I am Amanda Robinson. I am the Digital Gal.